Good afternoon. This is the video newsletter for Buy Sell Short for Tuesday, April 26th. Here's a little present for the shorts. They're going to need a lot of this, just given what the market has done here over the last few days. Here's some Vaseline for you idiots. And looking at the Dow 15-minute chart, you can see this is where the shorts got sucked in, like they always get sucked in. And here we are, a week later, and the Dow is up 500 points, and these guys are just going, oh, crap, and running for the hills, and this is what we see. It's funny. Here we are, a month away from the Dow. Actually, we'll go to the daily chart. Here we are, a month away from the end of the world after the Japanese crisis. This is when the shorts were calling for 11,000 and 10,000 and all the other stupidity that they usually call, ignoring the fact that the Fed is still out there pumping in $8 billion in liquidity every single day. And look, here we are, but 5 weeks later, 1,000 points higher, and not a peep out of these idiots. Nowhere to be seen until we see the next, 100, 200 point down day when they come out of the woodwork again. Actually, go to the website. I posted an article this weekend that is really, really interesting. You'll hear all this chat about perma bulls and perma bears. I'm a perma bull. I admit it. I'm an optimist. I like the long side of the market. The long side is fantastic. But the funny thing is, you hear all this talk, the lost decade of how stocks over the last 10 years have essentially gone nowhere. But the funny thing is, they did a study on the bear funds over the last 10 years. And even with the crisis we had over the last couple of years, pushing almost to the point of, the end of the financial world, bear stocks have still underperformed. I rest my case. Back to the market, however. Dow 15-minute chart. You can see that golden cross we had a few days ago. We are now up almost 200 points. We actually got 175, which is exactly what we want to get every time. The average is about 150 points. Now, there's not a whole lot I can do on this 15-minute chart, seeing as we've run 500 points over the last week. You can see we've essentially gone vertical. So where or how high we're going to go depends on, the size of the balls of the shorts who have yet to cover have. That 13K plus mark that I did in that January 1st video looking pretty damn good right now. And all those gurus who were coming out in December and January, the same old, same old. You don't see a peep from them anywhere. And that's all I'm going to say on that. Dow daily chart. Another breakout, looking really, really good. That positive MACD cross we've had on the Dow has just been fueling us nicely higher over the last few days. I mean, we've got another month with the Fed QE2. Speaking of the Fed, we've got the Fed meeting tomorrow. No real surprise is going to come out of that. Maybe we'll get some hints that the Fed is going to verbalize what everyone knows, that even though QE2 may officially end next month, it's sort of going to continue as QE3 as they continue to pump back the interest payments that they get. And that's a lot of billions of dollars that they get monthly from their $1 trillion in mortgage holdings. So there's still going to be liquidity coming into this market. We're seeing companies beat on their earnings left and right. And, for now, all is good in the market. Check out stochastics. You'll recall a few days ago when we had stochastics dip back down to that 50 level. You see why I love seeing, I'd like to see stochastics hold up above the 80 level, but I love seeing stochastics come down off that level, hold around the 45, 50 level, and then start to move. Usually when you see this kind of action, this is the kind of action you see in markets and in stocks. It can be very, very powerful. SMH, this went from being the ugly stepchild a week ago to everyone's, darling rock star. They got to be in a trade. And here we are about to break to the upside. We're very close to a breakout here at 36.75. I mean, if I told you that a week ago, you would have laughed at me. Even we didn't jump into this trade, just because of the choppiness on the chart. And here we are straight up climbing the wall of worry. Volume's sort of been low, but, when you've got shorts getting bent over, you really don't need a whole lot of volume sometimes. But let's jump into stock plays. MCZ, that financing sell-off looks to have been pretty much forgotten. The peers, COOL and GLUU, have just been ATM scalping machines for us in the chat room. MCZ has been coiling up its 50-day moving average. As I said in the chat room today, over the last 2 days, today we had, let's pull up GLUU. Glue was up, 40 cents today. Huge move. Yesterday, we had a 30-cent pop in COOL. So, like I said in the room, tomorrow is MCZ's turn. Let's see what happens here. We almost got a breakout. We got a peep above the 210 area. Added to our positions on this one. Looks really, really good with stops at $1.90. I don't think we're going to see anything lower than a dip below $1.98 if we even see that. Chart looks ready to rock and roll. This is a stock that loves to pop, dip, pop to new highs. So we are more than overdue for one of its moves to a new high. It's been a month, and essentially, going back to October, once a month, we push to a new high. We've got, 3-4 days left in the month. Time for a push to a new high. Couple of laggard plays. OPXT, we got a fat scalp out of this one on Thursday last week. Big drop yesterday on no real volume. Shook everyone out, which is what typically happens on this stock. Would look for this one to break back up to the 240 and then 250, 60 area. I'm thinking tomorrow, maybe Thursday at the latest. Nice rectangle bottom formation here, ready for another pop. IPAS has shook everyone out, I think, except us. Love this stock, gem play. Love these laggard plays, especially when you see a lot of stocks popping out. This is a stock that loves its 20-day exponential, and right now that's at $1.45. Great ad spot down here with really minimal downside at this point. If it dipped further, I just continue adding to my position for the inevitable bounce back that will come. NEI looked like it was going to drop today, shook some traders out, and then boom, out of the blue, stock is romping. Earnings report, pre-market Thursday. Pre-market earnings reports are typically a bullish indicator, especially if a company tends to report after hours. I expect these guys to beat, as I've repeatedly said, just because of the report EMC had. Volume has now started to come in here. This is our second day of volume over 1 million shares, and that is fantastic. That has always been an indicator of a run in progress on NEI, and this is a stock that loves to run into its earnings report. That MACD cross looking pretty good now. Unbounced volume is starting to tick higher, and let's see how high we can get a move. I think the real run is going to come when they blow the cover off their earnings report on Thursday. Sirius peaked just a tad bit over 2, almost ran, and then decided it was going to retrace. Probably try tomorrow. Remember, this one needs a hell of a lot of volume to get moving. To really start motoring, we want to see volume break probably the 150 million share day. Some monster winners for us over the last 2 days. DYAX, I said this was going to go, and it went big time. 195. Could see some further upside to the 210 area. We've been leaving a lot of profits on the table on some of our runners, but, that's just how our strategy works. We take a couple of slices of the pie, the easy slices, off to the next play. And, pretty much like every stock recently, no one wants to buy these stocks before they break out. They'd rather chase them when they're up huge, which is where we start selling them. I mean, look at WB or W Web Methods, WEBM. This is a stock we were playing in the chat room a couple of days ago. No one wanted this stock at $1.37 and $1.40. Today, hey, $1.65, 25 cents higher. I'm chasing. These are the kind of idiots we love in a market like this. We buy, we wait, we sell to the chasers. And we'll do that all day long. ADLR. Here's another laggard stock that, I could see this one sometime this week. Them chasing themselves trying to buy this one. Last 3 days, down from $1.55. They close at $1.39. Biotech stocks are hot right now. And here you've got a low volume biotech stock and they're selling it. And essentially what's happening on some of these stocks like ADLR, IPAS, you've got traders who are impatient. They don't want to wait for the move. They see other stocks moving. They sell these stocks and then these stocks pop. ADLR, I jumped into this one, $1.46. I'm thinking, with the way biotechs are moving, we'll see it move back up to that 150 and then the breakout at 160 plus. Probably tomorrow. Really wouldn't surprise me. So, great market right now. A lot of setups. We do have the Fed meeting tomorrow. So what'll probably happen is we'll see a lot of action early in the day, and then traders are likely to step back and just wait for the Fed to say the same thing they say every damn month. So probably see an upside move early in the morning, first couple of hours, and then market maybe go to sleep until the Fed meeting. That's it for the video. If you've got any questions, feel free to shoot me an email or hit me up in the chat room. The chat room is still down, so we are still using the backup chat room. Hopefully Financial Chat will get their issues resolved shortly. See you guys in chat room tomorrow. Good night.